One of the things that's often not recognized today is the tremendously important role that religious institutions have played in reform. William Wilberforce, slavery, or 7th Earl of Shaftesbury, I think it was labor reform. Or if you look at this country, the role that churches and others played in the anti-slavery movement. This added a dimension of richness and variety that I think was really essential to who we are as a people. Education is always founded on fundamental philosophical, religious, moral views about what's worth studying. It's just not a random collection of courses and ideas. You decide what's important in life, and then you arrange the university curriculum to address that. In the history of education, up until the last 50 or 100 years, most all education focused on better people, on character, on making it possible to live a better life. Religion is a fundamental part of human existence, and what I am arguing for in my work is that religion is not mainly whether you believe in God or not, but it is that part of human existence where you deal with the big questions: who am I? What does it all mean? How should I live? We have a system today where government sponsors schools and universities that consistently undermine traditional Jewish and Islamic and Christian belief. The whole issue of education needs to be rethought with clearer attention to history, clearer attention to philosophy and reason and so on. Because as Carl Trueman points out in his book, The Rise and Triumph of the Modern Self, and many other authors too, this tension goes back 200-300 years. It goes way back to Rousseau. I don't think you can argue, particularly after the advent of postmodernism, that religiously grounded thinking is inherently less reasonable, less rational than secular or atheistic grounded thinking. My fear is that if we don't think through these issues, and this is the first time in my life I've really felt this, I think it's not impossible to think of the United States as becoming a tyrannical government. Freedom is what happens when you live according to what is real. And if you live according to false ideas, like I can do anything I want and that'll make me happy, you're not going to have much freedom. I've offered seminars once or twice on the prison literature that grew out of World War II. Viktor Frankl, Solzhenitsyn, all kinds of people. And there's almost unanimity in what they say, that freedom is an inner experience. You can be in a prison camp and still be free, in one sense. Iris Murdoch talks quite a bit about humility, and she thinks that humility is perhaps the chief academic virtue. And by humility, she means a kind of selfless respect for reality, to really try your best to understand things the way they are. And it's not just to kind of do whatever I want to do. It's ideas like this that students are simply not hearing today. The ancients or the medievalists distinguished between ratio and intellectus. Ratio was the disciplined, focused attempt to control something, to learn more about it, but in a useful sense. Intellectus was simply the playing with ideas and the pleasure of thinking. And I used to quote one of the proverbs from the Jewish scriptures that basically said that when God created the world through wisdom, through Sophia, that he was playing, not working. That this was not something useful, it was just out of his good pleasure. And I think we've lost that element of the life of the mind, and I hope we'll be able to recover it.